To defeat imposter syndrome is to just actually be the guy, turns out. Oh, I'm not an imposter, I am this.
This is the answer.
Right.
And I'm turning it into a question by doubting the answer.
I am a musician, I play every day. I am an educator, I educate every day. I am like growing a business. I've made 2 sales this week. You know, it's like, oh, it's like all this evidence when you're in doubt. Okay, I've thought through this, and there's these other unknowns that I have no idea that could also occur. And I'm at peace with all of it. Right? I can sleep in the storm.
I thought that I needed to make the right decisions. And so I would stand on the precipice of any decision, small or big, and try to make the right choice, the smartest choice, the most efficient choice.
I don't look at the price of stuff now. I just take it off the shelf if I like it. And then I put it on. And if I like it, I know I have to buy it.
But if you make enough choices, like if you have the energetics in place, you're going to be more right than wrong.
Absolutely. And it's tying into intuition and tying into creativity and not seeing the division between the choices I make on my instrument and the choices I make in business are the same thing.
Yeah, because perfectionism is pride.
Right. Just make a choice. Have the confidence that you will learn from that choice and make the next choice.
Yeah, don't get stuck.
That makes me think of Roger Federer, who was like one of the most winningest tennis players of all time. He made a speech and he's like, you know what percentage of points I won? 54%.
Meaning he lost 46%.
He lost 46% of the time, which speaks to decision velocity.
For me, more and more, there's a realization of how valuable, like even a fraction of my time is.
Right? Like if you're tuned into your heart,
Decision.
just make choices. And you're gonna get a bunch wrong.
At the beginning stages of my journey as an entrepreneur, I thought, oh, I don't want to annoy people. Like, I don't want to, it's like, no, people don't see your stuff.
Yeah.
And they already raised their hand for your thing.
Yeah.
So tell them again and again and again and again and again. And if they're annoyed, they can unsubscribe. I'm not here for subscribers.
Yeah.
I'm here to build my business. Like, I don't care if people subscribe. Like, oh, I pissed you off? Great, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Unless it happens at a tremendous scale, I'm disrespecting the population. But again, I trust myself.
Right.
So I know I'm not disrespecting people.
Yeah.
It's like,
You're just
I'd
being
rather...
overly clear.
Overly clear. That's redundancy as well.
I
Like,
see.
say things again and again and again.
Well, it's also value driven, you know, like
Yeah,
you're not
yes.
just being like, hey, don't forget about my thing. It's
Yeah,
like,
buy my
hey,
thing, buy my thing.
Here's something that's really important that's going to help you. If you want to learn more about it, come to my thing. Here's a reminder of when it is. That is like
Totally.
a very different vibe.
And speaking to them, not of me, to them.
Right.
And it's free.
And it's free.
And there's the confidence that you know that even just attending that will be
100%.
a change for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe deeply in the material and the work.
Is there a way to blast out from your own phone number a text that like would respond to your number?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In terms of systems, if you can dream it, you can build it.
Yeah.
And you can ask Claude to do it for you.
Exactly. No, but this is so key. If you guys aren't using these tools, like, just try them, please. It's such a waste of time to be messing around, clicking in the back end.
No, the amount of hours that I spent trying to figure out like Go High Level and click funnels
man.
and all of that,
Such
and
a
the amount of
disaster.
like, hey, can you figure this out for me?
Copy,
Here's it
paste.
done.
Yeah.
Here it's done. It's here and sent to your email with a
Yeah.
report. Like, bro, we're in the future.
No, and yeah, exactly. So just mess around with it. Don't be afraid of it. Yeah, so that was a good. I'm glad we went there, Duffy, because I think of that higher order thinking as like an exchange principle, but the baseline of it, it's like without the energetics and without, you know, you've been doing this work. Like in the expression, we talk about being close to the work, right? Like that's a way to defeat imposter syndrome is to just actually be the guy, turns out. Oh, I'm not an imposter, I am this. You know, I am a musician, I play every day. I am an educator, I educate every day. I am like growing a business. I've made 2 sales this week. You know, it's like, oh, it's like all this evidence when you're in doubt. And from being close to the work, you can think through contingencies and think through if this then that, if this then that, if this then that, which is how software is built at a much more like accurate level. And you have the energetic awareness to not cling to it and to not be, oh, I need one of these 2 outcomes, right? It's the third door idea. Okay, I've thought through this, and there's these other unknowns that I have no idea that could also occur. And I'm at peace with all of it, right? I can sleep in the storm, like last night, like literally, like, I don't know if anyone will come tomorrow. Well, I'll just rest. Yep. Cool. Is this bringing up, I'd love to talk about people's individual situations, if it's helpful.
Something that I realized a while ago, but I'm revisiting as of yesterday, is that I continually crave change, and it brings me off balance because I often am living my life, and then I say, "Oh, that looks shiny over there," and then it's the decision of like, do I go chase that or do I stay with what I know? And as I'm saying this, I guess the right thing to do is to just hone that intuition.
Here you go.
But I was wondering if other people have thoughts about how to grapple with that.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a question, it's actually an answer. And I'm just recognizing that I'm turning it into a question via the doubt. If someone says, hey, you should do this, and you go, should I do that? Like, that's just happening. And then I go, should I do that? Should I do that? Should I do that? Over and over and over again. And then it's like, oh, I guess I should do that. After I'm done, yeah.
Also, I think through making the decision, like say you have an impulse to do something and you flesh it out and you decide, I don't want to do it. And then you go and do it and you're like, I didn't want to do this at all. Like being aware of the whole feedback loop so that you can get clearer on, oh, did I actually want to do this? And then that'll make you aware of like some unconscious, oh, I actually did it for these 3 reasons, which I was only faintly aware of. And it's generally going to be, some patterning that you can still get to free yourself from, unplug from. A lot of appeasing and people pleasing, a lot of like social stuff. I remember, when I was younger, it'd be like, oh, if I couldn't go to someone's show or something that I cared about, I'd feel like really bad about it, and like justify it. It's like, well, I actually don't need to, I can just stay home, That was kind of revelatory. Do you have someone?
Yeah, 2 things come up. I have friends who are musicians, and I dealt with the same sort of guilt of they're having the thing, and I should go to this thing, and
Right.
I guess when my brain comes up, it's like I'm still their boy. Like I still love them. They still love me. We'll be good regardless, and I'm happy for them. That kind of helped.
Or if they don't still love you, then
Yeah,
that's
maybe
good
not
information.
the show to be going to.
Yeah.
Another thing comes up is when you're saying that, I wonder of this experience of when you're buying something or like trying on an outfit and you're like, should I get this outfit or this clothes? I feel like it helps to be like, if I'm even questioning it, it's either like a hell yeah or no.
Yeah, you're right.
And I guess when I think about if the question keeps coming up, it's not a hell yeah because I keep reconsidering it and how to differentiate between the hell yes and the repeated possibility of pursuing.
Well, one of the things that I've found, like in shopping, right, for instance, is I don't look at the price of stuff now. I just take it off the shelf if I like it.
Yeah.
And then I put it on. Yeah. And if I like it, I know I have to buy it.
Yeah.
It's like these Gucci glasses that we got in Italy. We were in Italy, and that's where Gucci's from. And they got me with the advertising because we were at the airport and like saw these like cool hip people, and I was like, wow, that's pretty good. And we walked inside, and I had no intention of buying something at Gucci, and I saw these absolutely ridiculous glasses, and I put them on, and I felt awesome. I said, wow, let's go. And I bought them, and as I was checking out, and we just shot like 100 ads in like 5 days or something, and I felt really good about the work, and we had a big trip. And the guy was so slow at the checkout, and I had to fill out this paperwork. I told him, like, man, like, you're about to lose this deal. like, why am I doing this paperwork? Like, I just want to spend this $500 on a piece of plastic. And now I'm in my head about it because there's friction. Like, just let me buy it, It was weird. But I'm really glad I bought them. Really glad. Like, I love them.
The paperwork was to save, $35?
It was like, because it's duty free, right? So you can, like, get your tax back. And I was like, I don't think this is worth it. Because I was in such a flow state. You know, I was like, I'm not trying to save $35 on these $500 Gucci glasses. Like, who cares? It was so weird, all of it. It's like, you can save $35. I was like, okay.
Like in Gucci?
Yeah, exactly.
You guys have coupons?
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I was thinking. I think but it's a good insight because it's like I just want to buy the thing. Like I don't want to do homework to get $35. It's not a match at all.
Optional homework.
I didn't even do it. I didn't. I just.
One of the things that when I'm at just Joanna speaking to like decisions or something shiny, one of the things that I'm playing in the space of is I think in my entrepreneur journey, and it's very similar to playing an oboe. I thought that I needed to make the right decisions, like, and so I would stand on the precipice of any decision, small or big, and try to make the right choice, the smartest choice, the most efficient choice, the choice that was going to get me the most leverage. And I get kind of stuck there. And the place that I'm playing right now is like, just make a choice and have the confidence that you will learn from that choice.
Yes.
And make the next choice.
Yeah. Don't get stuck.
Don't get stuck at that spot.
Yeah.
And I think like thinking in systems, and I think that's the state, the season of business that I am in right now.
For sure.
That I wanted to do it right. Like, and that's that perfection thing. I think classical musicians resonate with trying to make the perfect choice. And I think I'm growing in my confidence of just making the choice that's in front of me right now. And I'll learn, I'll grow, just like I did on the oboe. Does that make sense?
But your choices are bound to be better because you have a practice of an energetics practice.
Absolutely,
Right.
Absolutely. And it's tying into intuition and tying into creativity and not seeing the division between the choices I make on my instrument and the choices I make in business are the same thing. And I also find my own personal energetic practice is when I get stuck at a place, I'm yelling with Claude and trying to get this thing done. That if I just go play some Mozart and then I come back, I am changed.
Yeah.
That's my energetic practice to do business better.
Yes.
That makes me think of Roger Federer, who was like one of the most winningest tennis players of all time, if you're not familiar. And he had something that came out, he made a speech and he's like, you know what percentage of points I won? 54%.
Meaning he lost 46%.
He lost 46% of the time, which speaks to decision velocity, right? Like if you're
100%.
tuned into your heart,
Decision.
just make choices. And you're going to get a bunch wrong. But if you make enough choices, like if you have the energetics in place, you're going to be more right than wrong.
You're gonna become Roger Federer.
Exactly.
You will become Roger.
Well, the other thing that I would say with you is that, like, the other huge gain in just making the decision is you are not wasting your time spinning in the vitriol and the anxiety and all this kind of stuff. You just make the choice and move on.
Or the pride. Or any of this stuff.
Yeah, because perfectionism is pride, for sure. It's
I
all
want to
that,
be good
like,
at business. I can't
yeah.
make a bad decision, right?
yeah.
Right.
For me, it was about prioritization because there are so many like glowing opportunities,
Yeah.
and it's very easy to fall in this like trap of like, okay, there's so many things happening in the city. I want to be an observer. I want to see this. I want to kind of like learn from that. But then it's about reflection and giving yourself time to actually sit with that and just like, will I benefit from that opportunity, or like missing even 2 hours for something which is like out of my way, let's say my creation or something, would it be actually beneficial for me?
Yeah. Even 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes, yeah, it's a lot of reflective thoughts, I would say.
Yeah. Yes. It seems to me, and I don't know if this resonates for those of you who've been building business for a while, but time just gets more and more valuable. Like, all of a sudden, for me, more and more, there's a realization of how valuable, like, even a fraction of my time is. And that, you know, in earlier stages, that would have been attached to what Zealand would call a pendulum, in terms of like, oh, like, who am I to value my time like that? It's like, who are we not to value our time like that? It's like, what?
What else do we have?
Yeah, that's it. It's the only thing. And how you choose to spend that time. When you carry yourself in that time more than the free thing, you know, it's like, oh, I'm going to show up and do this with no intention, just to be there. You carry a different weight when you value your time. Gives other people permission to value their time too.